Medfield TV. Community shows.
My name is Dannielle Vaclavik. I am turning 23 next week, so we'll say I'm 23. My connection to Medfield, I have been around all my life. I grew up here. My father actually grew up here, so he went through the school system back when the high school was the middle school was the high school. So definitely been around a while. I'm growing up in the house that my grandmother grew up in, my father grew up in, so it's definitely a long-term connection, and I've been around the block a few times. I'm a townie. I've worked at the Cumberland Farms, Dunkin' Donuts, Medfield Commons, so I know a lot of people and a lot of people know me, but otherwise a lot of people know me as the airbrusher. I am the girl that drives around with a screaming eagle on the front of her car, and a lot of people have actually pointed at my car, and I've had a cop pull me over in my car to ask about my airbrushing, which was a little scary, but entertaining. I knew by the look on his face, especially when he stopped me during a traffic detail. So, but yeah, no, I'm definitely very much a townie, and even before I had the Eagle car, I had an airbrush dragon on my hood, so I'm known for that as well. I got into airbrushing through one of my favorite artists. His name is Ed Beard Jr. I'm gonna give him a huge portion of credit. He's actually my hero. I don't have many, but he's definitely number one. He does all original artwork as well, and I met him at King Richard's Fair in Carver, Mass. 8 years ago, so I've been airbrushing for about 7. I'm on my 8th year, and I talked to him for 3 hours, and he was just such an inspiration, and I started following him on Facebook and social media, and he really, really inspired me, and he started to do automotive work, and I looked at it and I said, I can probably do that myself, why not? And started to dabble in a little bit of it, and it really took off for me. I love the machine, I love automotive work, and I love everything about it. And he's definitely my biggest inspiration. And his work, I follow it every day. I look at his page every day to see what's new. Airbrushing is definitely similar to spray painting or graffiti. It's just much more atomized. It's smaller, and everything is more specific, and it depends on how you mix the paint, and everybody mixes their paint differently. Depends on if you want the color to be more transparent or not, or thicker. But I love airbrushing because it's so complex, because it's an animal, and because there's so many different things to do, and nobody realizes that you can put silver underneath something, and then you can say, I really like this blue, but I like silver. So if you want to put the metallic silver underneath, well, I can put that blue on top and make that silver shine through when the sun hits it. And then never mind the decals and all that graphic stuff that you can put on top. So it's just, there's so much to do, and it's so fine and intense, and I'm 100% detail oriented, so I love that kind of stuff. And I don't know, I like a good challenge. I don't like something that's easy. I don't like going to work every day saying, oh, just another day doing the same old stuff and sitting here doing this and dealing with people. I like to go to work and say, what can I learn today? What's new? What can I challenge myself with? And airbrushing is definitely in that regard. It's very difficult and placement, because paint is not very forgiving, especially when you use urethane-based paint, which is the route I'm going, because a lot of the new stuff is water-based. So urethane is stronger, it's less forgiving, but the color is better. And it's definitely more difficult to work with, and it's nasty stuff. So you have to wear a respirator, and it's a lot of work, and people don't realize how intense it actually is. So it's a challenge, and like I said, I like a good challenge. Art has not been my full-time job. I'd love it to be, but unfortunately everybody doesn't want airbrushing. So my full-time job during the week is 50+ hours at Wilson's Tire and Auto in Upton, Mass. He's actually my boyfriend, and we run the shop together. It's just the two of us. It's 7 lifts, so we have a lot of cars going on at the same time. I'm a full-time automotive technician, so it's a lot of work. It's very physical, and it's definitely not glamorous. It's dirty work, but I don't mind getting dirty, and I went to college for art for a little bit, and I said, what am I doing? I love automotive stuff. I need to backtrack and figure out what I want to do with the rest of my life before I do this. So I got into the automotive stuff, and we're running the shop now, and it's definitely a lot of work, but I love it. I love being in a shop environment, and in the future, definitely we're going to make a paint booth at the shop, and we're going to start airbrushing a lot more. He just bought a motorcycle, so it's a CVO Road Glide. It's huge, and we're gonna keep the paint for now, but it's definitely gonna need a little airbrushing soon. So we're gonna do a lot of motorcycles, and we're gonna start to incorporate the shop into the location of my airbrush organization, which I haven't said yet. It's Dragon's Inferno Airbrushing. We're definitely going to incorporate a lot of that into the shop and start to advertise that. We have a ramp truck that we're gonna be redoing, and I'm gonna airbrush the front of the ramp truck, and then hopefully put my car on the back of the ramp truck and go to shows and put it out front in the shop, and it's definitely an advertising game. It's a marketing game. Dragon's Inferno Airbrushing is kind of an all-around artist thing. I call it airbrushing, but it's technically airbrush artist and painter. I do basically everything. I specialize in airbrushing because not a lot of people do it, and it's a dying thing. I can do canvas paintings, I can do just black and white, graphite, pencil drawings, I can do pen ink drawings. I mean, it all is preference. I take any custom orders. I've painted anything from a door, to a wall, to a car, to a skateboard, to a game console, to a helmet, even to a wedding cake topper. This woman came to me with an armful of tattoos, and she was actually one of my friends from work, and she said that her tattoo artist wouldn't paint all their sleeves of tattoos on the cake topper. And I said, I like a challenge, I'll take it. So I actually did it, and it came out really good with all the little koi fish and this Japanese woman or whatever it was. It was a lot of detail on a little topper, but no matter what it is, I mean, it could be a pencil. But yeah, as far as what I specialize in, it's definitely airbrushing, and even with the airbrushing, you still have to incorporate the hand painting and all the hand details. Like on my car, in the Eagle and the wing, and just the wing alone took 8 to 10 hours. And all the little licks of fur and feather are hand done and then softened with the airbrush and transparent paint in the airbrush. And the more thinner and reducer you put in, the more transparent the paint is. And that's why I say it's so complex. And you can do anything you want with it. And there's so many different ways to do it. It's all preference. One of the favorite pieces that I have airbrushed would definitely be a bike that I just completed back in 2018. And it was a 2018 Victory Cruiser. And it was the front part of the bike, it's called the fairing. And he came to me and he said, look, I have 5 people that are near and dear to me that have passed away. And they were all in the military, the Marines, the Air Force, and the National Guard. And the most important was his grandfather. And he said, I want you to do something in that regard to military related, but I definitely want an eagle. I love the eagle on your car. I need an eagle on this. I said, all right, if you're giving me the freedom to do it, I'll do it. So the front of his bike, the top was white and the bottom was gray. So I turned the bottom into a rock wall. In the stone wall, I engraved all the people's names that had passed away with what branch they were from, and I made it look like their names were engraved with the year and their service and when they passed away. And then up top, I did a screaming eagle with all the dog tags of the people that have passed away, what branch they were in. And instead of an AK-47, like the new guns, I put an old Garand. And it's from the World War II and the Korean War, which his grandfather served in. And it had the helmet on the top that the eagle was all holding on to, and it had the sergeant ranking of the grandfather on it, and the eagle had the dog tag of the grandfather in the mouth. So basically what I'm getting at is all the pieces that people come to me, most of them are memorial pieces. It's sad, but at the same time, I love doing it because I love incorporating all this stuff and making it very personal. I do the research to figure out what, I wanted to figure out what they used back in the day, so I made it very personable and put the Garand instead of the new gun. And I put the ranking on the helmet, and just all the detail is there. And this was a big motorcycle man, and I made him cry. He was very touched, and it meant a lot to me, and that's why I do it. I love the feeling of making someone remember who they love and appreciate, and it's very touching to make someone that emotional and be able to put that into art and be able to have someone feel that as much as I do. And never mind, just appreciate it and look at all the detail, and when you look at it, you keep seeing something new. Oh my God, look at the rock wall, look at all that. And they didn't see it at first. It was him and his wife, and they were just blown away. It's definitely one of the best pieces I've done because I have a tattoo that says support the troops, so I'm all about that. I go USA, I love, I definitely support it 100%, so it's my favorite piece. I like to go to events with my car because it's my best showpiece, and that's why I did it. So, because I wanted to be able to go to shows. I try to go to at least 2 to 3 shows a month around the spring and summertime, just to showcase my work. And a lot of people looked at me and they said, you're too young to have this kind of talent. And that's why I did my car. I wanted to showcase what I can do and what I'm capable of. So going to these shows, it opens a lot of people's eyes. I definitely try to go to as many shows, and when I go to those shows, people hand me flyers and stuff, so it leads me to go to more shows, and one thing leads to a next, and it's all word of mouth. In the future, I really hope to have my own shop, and I would love to have either the building next door or have the building split, one be custom paintwork and airbrushing and all that, and the other mechanics, because I love working on cars. I couldn't just paint all day. I love the two of them. Like I said, I love the machine. So in the future, I definitely see myself continuing that talent because I can't let it go to waste. My dad told me when I was a kid never to let it go to waste, and it's something that I can't let go, and I love doing it and I enjoy it. So I'm definitely gonna follow that dream. I definitely would love to have my own shop, and right now my boyfriend and I are running the mechanic shop, but he bought the bike to further my dream and help me, and it's really cool. And I've never had someone so supportive, and it means a lot to be able to go that far. So he wants to split the shop right now and do more and move forward with this already, and I'm only 23. So people can find me online. I definitely, I'm on Facebook a lot. Dragons Inferno Airbrushing, right on Facebook, you can just type that in. Online, it's the same thing, www.dragonsinferno.com. My cell phone number is 508-641-8656. I call, text, email, dvaclavik00@gmail.com. I definitely promote myself by going to these shows, so people can look at me at the shows, and definitely follow me on Facebook, and I post where I'm going at shows, so it's definitely a good way to stick with me and see what new projects await, because there's big things coming. Like I said, we got that new bike. This guy actually, with the memorial piece that I did on the Victory bike, he wants to eventually do his whole bike, but it is expensive work, so he's doing it piece by piece, so he's gonna be coming back. My boyfriend wants me to do his truck, so we're gonna take that to shows as well and do that. So definitely keep posted, because there's gonna be a lot of cool projects coming. We're getting bigger and bigger every year.
Medfield TV. Community shows.